Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and this is Fate Zero. Now, to catch people up with why everything seems to have changed, if you're like watching from the playlist or you're new to the channel, I still don't understand why anyone new to the channel would just click Fate Zero Episode 9 to start with, but whatever. The reason why everything's changed is that Griffin retired from the channel not too long ago. I am, of course, trying out new co-hosts and everything, but I do not think asking somebody to start a new show, uh, 9 episodes in. Obviously, I made the same excuse with Full Metal Alchemist, right? Starting, hey, you want to watch a show 51 episodes in? Would not be the greatest play in the history of mankind. It would be unfair to them. So, reached out to sponsors and once again, thank you, SevTQ, for sponsoring at your gold level, as you have been for some time now, and as why the reason we're continuing here. So yeah, that is why it's just me alone right now. Maybe sometime in the future, we'll pull in somebody else. Maybe if I reach the end of Fate Zero, and you still want me to keep going with the Fate series, maybe then I can pull somebody in, and I'll have like a little bit more experience in Fate. But since it'll be a different thing, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. As always, though, you could quit any time. I won't take it personally. I'm doing this for you. Doing this for you. I'm kind of doing it for me too because I like the show, right? I've gone off a little off track there. I always want to give my spiel about why things are different, and uh, I never pre go over this stuff in my head. Anyway, once again, as always, thank you, SevTQ, for sponsoring this. And if you like this reaction, hell, if you like this show, drop a thank you down below in the comments as well. Let them know you appreciate the poll that they have. I have other stuff to go over, of course, but first let's go over the comments. And of course, the first person to comment is SevTQ themselves from the Patreon episode The Magus Killer. By the way, the situation is Lancer can totally sneak up on Saber when she is dealing with Caster, but he did the minimal order from Caneth, sorry, which is killing Caster, that is. That's it, rather. A Saber-like person would die in shame if she doesn't thank him for saving, but play dirty after repelled Caster. From above, they value their image or fame more than anything else because they are dead and they know there exist further things after death. Plus, being honor is okay from their time, and if there are just some typical mortal people in our modern time and act willing/unwilling for practical goal instead of grander view due to short lifespan and pressure of survival, them could just end up dragging each other legs. Wearing out each other. Sorry, I lost myself for a second. Wearing out each other before the survival of self till the end, and the clever or tactical villain will just win by being smart. Imagine you are Saber, Rider, or Lancer. You would not want to take out easy target at early and died after that immediately, or end up facing a bunch of survived wicked opponents who don't play lawfully during the endgame, right? To me, it is practical to cooperate with worthy person in Grail War like this if there are any. If not, we human can jump to the conclusion already we are reaching a point that holding any beliefs or being spiritual is pointless. Although I think this will happen in future where humanity discarded almost all of these and fully submitted into material needs. In my opinion, this is an anime about clash of ideals. Values like honor can be as powerful as being chaotic or any other material values. Forming an alliance firmed by their beliefs actually works if there is someone holding it. It looks so impractical just because in modern times many other doesn't do it, that's it. Just a matter of numbers and the social atmosphere. I think, see my problem. I didn't explain this before. It has been 2 months since the last time we recorded any of these episodes, and it's likely that I've been sitting on this comment for 3 months now, or somewhere around that time, because we didn't record for a month when Griff was away. Not well, he had a bunch of stuff to take care of, and we paused the Patreon. So obviously we weren't charging you for an episode, so we didn't record the episode. And then Griff retired, obviously, and so this episode would have been, yeah, about 2 months back. Now, my memory, as I've gone through a number of times, is shit. So, I do remember having a conversation specifically about the fact that the characters, work into their ideals more than they do the concept of winning. And I think my point, in fact, was more so that they were summoned specifically to win this thing, and they don't serve their masters all that well by living up to the values that they existed in. If you ever done one of those, not like maybe like a death battle thing, right? Where you say, "Hey, who would win in a fight, X or X?" And you always go down like the list of their powers and everything like that. Oh, this guy could do this, and this guy could do that. And the thing nobody ever brings up is, yeah, but why would Superman fight Goku? That sort of thing. It's like, I think they would just be friends, right? Or, something like that. You don't enter into the fact, their motivations or their characteristics or their beliefs, because that's not what you come into. And I have to think that some people in the Grail War have to have been thinking, I heard the last time King Arthur got summoned, he had an invisible sword, and that probably is rarely helpful. You know? No one's like, yeah, but King Arthur would fucking hate you if you summoned him. It just feels like that. I mean, I feel like that is the basis of your comment here, is that these are characters with established beliefs, backstories, and as you said here, more than that, know that something exists after life because they've been summoned from it, right? So I don't know. To your other point that humankind is losing that spiritualness of itself. Well, sure, because we live in the real world. If we lived in this world and you saw people getting summoned from the dead, or doing unnatural things, or even fuck, what's his name? Sorry, losing it. Not Iskander, Gilgamesh. If Gilgamesh fucking talks to the church guy, sorry, I'm looking over here again. Kiri, Kudamane. He fucking talks to him. Here, let me. Sorry, I'm gonna bring this up so you can see what I'm fucking doing. I still have the board here, so every time I forget someone's name, it's just a quick zoom in. So that's what I'm up to there. He talks to him about the other world, right? Well, unfortunately, Griff's not here to back me up on this one, but I was super confused at the time, and I think it was kind of explained by Sev to Q themselves what was going on there or what he was referring to. But the fact he talks to just a mortal guy about it, it's just like, okay, I think what we do is we just videotape. Yeah, that's right, I'm doing an old handheld camera is my example because that's my age. Um, we just record Gilgamesh talking about the afterlife and boom, put that shit on the internet. I think we solved that problem. At the same time, this is also a world where magic exists and there's a schools that teach it. But I think you also indicated before that not everybody knows about magic, so even though that we're in a giant building teaching magic in the middle of a city, it's still somehow not a known thing, or you were indicating that people know magic because not everyone can do magic. I don't know. Actually, there has to be a large number of magicians. We have a Magus killer. So, anyway, That's been your comment. I believe I hit all the points. If not, well, at least I attempted to hit them. I apologize if I left something behind. If it was that important to you, hit me up with it again in your next comment. I'll try my best. Obviously, we're at the board here, and I'm going to hit that in a second. But first thing I should probably do is recap what I remember from last episode, which I think was the second part of the mansion fight. Because I believe we started, or we ended up at the mansion 2 episodes ago, where we set up. Ooh, who are they again? Where's Saber? It was Saber. Uh, God, were you there? Yeah, that's right, you were there. The Magus Killer himself, his homunculus wife, and I believe Homewrecker was there too. Because he stays in the building to fight. Where are you? Oh God, Archibald. Sorry, I was trying to remember how to say his name again. He stayed in the building to fight Archibald, who came in with a Mercury servant sort of thing. As Saber was out with Lancer to fight Castor, because Castor came of his own accord with a entourage of children to protect himself because he wanted Saber alive or dead apparently. Lancer shows up to fight with Saber to get rid of Castor, and I'm pretty sure my memory says that they killed him. Past me did not X out Castor. I don't know. This dude is still alive, I think. So I think I'm gonna wait for this episode to figure out if Castor is dead or not. I I want to say he is. I just forgot to X him out due to the last 2 months of busyness. Otherwise, uh, Kiritsugo. I never did say his name right, and I don't think I'm doing it right now either. Kiritsugu fought Archibald in the mansion. He did some weird magic tricks where he like sped up his body to make time slow down at the cost of like blowing out his own heart. I feel like it was. He also had anti-mage bullets made from his own bones. I think it was, and he got one into Archibald. I think, but I think he gets away, and this dude gets away too. I don't think anybody but Castor may have died. And on the other side of things, yeah, okay, I think Castor did die, and I forgot to mark this off because there's obviously missing lines here. These two were already enemies, so because he's already tried to like bomb a building this dude was in, but I clearly do not have these two. Sorry, I don't know where my center screen is here. I clearly don't have these two with a red line to this guy because that also happened last time. He shows up. He is like a super fighter. I don't even know. But he gets into a fight with them and he kicks their asses. And I do not remember how that fight ends. I think he just like leaves them on the ground and for some reason decides to go his own way. Maybe it was a warning or something. I mean, that might explain why he chose Assassin, right? If he just needs to keep eyes on people and he's a badass himself, then maybe. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this up at an after point because clearly I've missed that there. Otherwise, that's all I can really remember from last episode. I will also say that I'm doing this in the new solo style that I've been doing in previous shows or current shows by the time you're watching this. I don't know, it's a weird thing. You'll probably see this come out before the shows I'm referencing. So the idea is that I watch it first, I react to what I'm seeing, so I can give it the brevity, the levity, and whatever fun I'm going to have with this. Then I'm going to record myself watching it a second time, making all those notes that I'm going to now begin to keep across episodes. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about those notes. So, oh, also, I'm going to fast forward the note taking thing. It's just more proof that you see me doing it and where I'm stopping and what I'm stopping on. So, if I don't reference it in the note taking section and you don't see me stop on it when I'm taking the notes, maybe think that I missed it, bring it up in the comments. the idea here is you're helping me, right? You want me to enjoy the show that you like. So help me enjoy the show by making sure I don't miss something, but don't spoil and do not help me, right? Push me in the right direction. Maybe don't straight up tell me. It's more fun to find out on your own, and sometimes it's more fun to watch somebody put the pieces together. So don't spell it out if it's like a big thing. Help me get there, is what I'm asking. Please. Please enjoy this with me. Do not force me to enjoy it. That'll never work. Anyway, I think that's been it for the preamble, or as you might call it, the long 15-minute ramble before we watch the show. So let's go ahead and get into Fate Zero, Episode 9.
エリンの英雄フィオナ騎士団の騎士
I was
団
about to say that looked like
コンラ
Lancer.
トールと我が娘グラニアとの婚約がめでたく相なった。
It must be when he
なるも
originally
の
died.
今宵は盛大に祝ってほしい。
目の下の泣きぼくろが印象的なあのお方は何とおっしゃるの？
フィオナ騎士団の一人、ディルムット・オディナです。
They said his mole was like his ability to enchant women or something.
裏切り者めが許さぬぞディルムッド。
私を連れてお逃げください。
I don't know if it's like a Thorfinn's dad sort of thing from the Finland saga.
喜べグラニア。フィンが俺たちのことを認めてくれたぞ。
グラニアの恨み忘れたと思うか。夢。
I guess this is where. Oh, okay. Sorry, sometimes I pause because I feel like something very important is about to happen. And I recognize that I cut the screen so that you can still see what's happening. I pause so you can see what's happening. You know my editing style by now. If you don't, I don't know what to say. But yeah, no, I guess if you know history, a lot of this can be really exciting for you. Especially if you're fans of, oh god, the bugs, man. The bugs. Sorry, if you can't see the screen, I apologize. Watch it on Patreon. It'll be there. Oh, man. Anyway, I was saying, if you're like a super fan of some of these characters, historical characters, or I guess mythos of some characters, then this could be real exciting to see it brought to life in an anime way. Sorry, I was trying to think of the name of that other anime that gives like countries, anthropomorphizes countries, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. I will say there's also a small bout of sadness. Well, there's probably a large amount of sadness in my gut about Griffin leaving and the fact that we had both chosen the same pairing as our favorite characters.
これはサーバントの記憶か。ここは
気がついたようね。
Yeah, I do not remember why this would be happening.
何があったのか全く覚えてないの？
私は撃たれた。確かにボールメンハイドラグラムで防御したはずだが。
Oh, that's right. He passed out at the end.
体に何が。
全身の魔術回路が暴走した形跡があるわ。即死しなかったのは奇跡ね。とりあえず
間に合ったのは臓器の再生まで。あなたの魔術回路は壊滅よ。
Oh, you're not a mage
魔術の
anymore.
行使はできない。
私は
泣かないでケーネス。諦めるのはまだ早いわ。私たちはまだ敗北したわ
I
け
guess
じゃ
you
ない。
could also use your wish to get your magic back.
聖杯が万能の願望機だというのなら、あなたの体を感知させることも
See?
十
Exactly.
分に可能なはずでしょ。勝てばいいのよ。勝ち残って聖杯を手にすれば何もかも元通りになるわ。
Plus, I guess whatever you were gonna wish for before.
ね、ケイネス。このレイジを私に譲ってちょうだい。私がマスターとしてランサーを受け継ぐわ。
Oh, that's a trick.
あなたに聖杯をもたらすために。
ダメだ。
She's a woman.
私を信じられないの？
She's been enchanted by Lancer.
アーチボルトに嫁ぐこの私が。
いや、だがソラウランサーが私でなく君に忠誠を誓うとでも思う。
I'm assuming he's using
え
her.
え、彼だって聖杯の招きに応じた英霊ですもの。聖杯を求める心は私たちと同じ。たとえマスターが交代することになっても、彼は目的のために受け入れるはずよ。
ソラウランサーはそんな殊勝なやつじゃない。
どうしてそんなことを？
何を願うか奴に問うたとき、奴はこう言った。聖杯など求めはしないと。聖杯を求めぬサーバントなどありえない。何か本心を包み隠している。だが胸の内に何を秘めておこうとも、この霊樹がある限り私に従わざるを得ない。
ケーネス。
霊樹は
Is there a way to force the command spells from somebody?
ケーネス、分かってないのね。私たちはどうあっても勝ち抜かなきゃならないってことが。
Good on him for not screaming, I guess.
ねえ、ケイネス。私程度の霊媒治療術だと、根付いた霊獣を強引に引き抜くまでは無理なのよ。本人の同意があって、初めて無抵抗にこれを摘出できる。どうしても納得しないというのなら、この右腕を切り落とすしか他になくなるけど、どうするの？
But would that give you the command spells, or would he just lose his arm and that would be the end? Like, why didn't she just fucking drug him? Just drug him into thinking
アイリス
or
フィール
blindly agreeing with whatever you say.
魔術による治療は非術者の負担が大きいの。意識を取り戻すにはまだ時間がかかると思う。しばらく彼女を見ててちょうだい。キリツグへ報告に。彼も心配してるだろうから。アイリスフィール
And yes, I'm calling the other woman a homewrecker, even though they've agreed
あなたから
that he would move on to her
直ちに
after
キャスターの討伐
her
に向かうべ
death
きだ。
because we know her death is coming.
セイバー。このままキャスターを野放しにしておけば犠牲になる子供たちが増えるだけです。
Okay, so Castor's not dead.
マイヤはいつから使える？
彼女、ここ一両日は動けないわ。
そうか。アイリたちはここに待機していてくれ。僕はケイネスの追撃に出る。
ちょっと待って、キリ
I
ツ
mean,
グ。
I don't even think I gotta do that anymore.
キャスターを早急に討ち取るべきだとでも言ったかい？ズボしか。
セイバーに腹を立ててるの？ランサーを阻止しなかったから。
アイリー、今ここで数十人の子供を救うことが僕たちの目的じゃない。セイバーはランサーが僕を殺さないと信じて疑わなかったのだろうが、もしランサーが裏切っていればどうなっていた？ その時点で僕らの聖杯戦争は終わっていた。
I guess I really just want to know what their motivation
告げる
is.
必要がない。
Specifically, what they want to wish for.
ランサー、出てきてください。
ソラウ様、ケーネス殿の容体は？
芳しくありません。一通りの処置は施したけれど。
She's obviously got the thing on her hand.
あなたに咎はないわ。ケーネスの自業自得です。彼にこの聖杯戦争は荷が勝ちすぎていたということでしょう。
いや、だが
彼はあなたのマスターにはふさわしくないわ、ディルムット。
I do not like
ケイネ
this.
スは戦いを放棄し、マスターの権限を私に譲りました。
私はケーネス殿に騎士として忠誠を誓った身です。ソラウ様、その申し出は承諾できない。
そんな、元よりあなたは私の魔力によって限界しているサーバントでしょ。そして今は0時までもが私の手にあるのよ。
私はサーバントである以前に一人の騎士
I
です。
do like this, though.
忠義を尽く
This
す
is
騎士は
good.
ただ一人しかありえない。
私がマスターでは不足ですか。
それとこれとは話が違うと。
私の目を見て話して。
Well, you could technically force him to do anything. That doesn't make you his lord, I guess.
私と戦って、私を守って、私を支えて、私と共に聖杯を取って。
できません。ケーネス殿が戦いを放棄するというのなら、私も聖杯など求めはしない。
彼の体を癒すには奇跡の助けが必要だわ。それが叶うのは聖杯だけでしょう。彼の負傷に責任を感じるなら、ロード・エルメロイの威信を取り戻そうと思うなら、あなたは主に聖杯を捧げなければ。
ソラウ様、あなたはケーネス殿の伴侶として、ただケーネス殿のためだけに聖杯を求めると、そうおっしゃるのですね。
そう。
I mean, she's infatuated. It's a problem.
誓ってくださいますか？
I just don't know what she's gonna do about it.
誓います。私はケイネス・エルメロイの妻として夫に聖杯を捧げます。
同じ目だ。あの時のグラニアと。
I guess it's like a curse then, huh? Because it doesn't seem like he's doing it on
俺は
purpose.
誰も恨んでいない。ただ、運命の巡り合わせがあまりにも悪すぎただけのこと。俺が現世で望むのは、前世で叶わなかった忠節の道。もうあんな悲運を繰り返したくない。しかし、
前世において私もあまたの戦に身を投じてきました。やむを得ず犠牲に目をつむることもあり
I
まし
think
た。
I also talked about last time the connective tissues between the multiple characters as we saw during the last major battle with a bunch of people there. Not the one from 2 episodes ago, but
聖
before
杯を
that.
求めて無用な血が流れるように取られた措置がサーバントによる代理戦争なはず。違いますか、アイリスフィール。ランサーのマスターとキリツグが隠れて戦いなどしなかったらキャスターを打ち果たせていた。もう婿の子供たちが犠牲になる心配も消えていた。ランサーとも正々堂々決着をつけられていた。キリツグは考え方を変える気がないのでしょう。
But you don't remember the connected tissue being like Saber and Ryder
これだけは
both
信
being
じて
kings,
セイバー
Lancer and Saber both being knights,
キ
that
リツ
sort
グ
of
が
thing. The
私の
connected
理想を
tissue of
実現させ
understanding.
るためにはあなたがどうしても必要よ。
Here we go. Oh, the mind-controlled old man.
いやー、気持ちのいい飲みっぷりですな。
おお、かたじけない。
もうお客さんがいらっしゃるならもっと早く教えてくれなきゃ。
いやいや、奥さん、お構いなく。気取らぬ家庭の味こそが極上のもてなし
I
で
kind
あ
of
りま
thought
す
he left those people behind.
お世辞がお上手だこと。
He's not
キ
happy.
リスト学校でうまくやっていけたのか心配でならなかったのですが、あなたのような頼もしいお方と父を得ていたのなら全く取り越し苦労でしたな。
いや私の方こそ世話になっとったのですよ。ほれ、このかっこよいズボンも彼が見立てて買ってくれたの
Oh,
です。
that was a plot element from last episode. So we can go out.
日本に。
まあちょっとした野暮用が片付くまで1週間ですかな。
もしよかったら我が家に滞在なさってはどうですか。ウィーバーの部屋なら布団を敷けばあと一人は寝られるでしょう。なあウィーバー。
布団。おお、この国の寝具ですな。
ベッドではなく床に寝るというのは慣れないうちは奇妙なものでしてね。
それが異国の醍醐味というもので
This
しょ
is
う
the
な。
most character this old man's
内
been
なる
given
驚きこそ
so
が我
far.
が歓喜。いつの時代もアジアは世を楽しませてやまない。
まさしくおっしゃる通りですな。
出入りの時は霊体化しろって言っておいただろうが。
霊体化したらこれを持ち込むことができんだろうが、そのために晴れてズボンも手に入れたのだ。そもそも命じたのは坊主、貴様ではないか。
Oh wait, careful what
な
you
んで
wish for
制服を
scenario.
渡る世がひなびた川っぺりで水汲みなどせにはならなかったのだ。
せんべいかじってビデオ見ているよりはよっぽど有意義だからだよ。
なんだ、錬金術の真似事か。
真似事じゃなくて錬金術そのものだ、バカ。
What are we looking for?
一体それは何なのだ。
術式残留物、水の中にあった魔術の名残さ。かなり河口に近い位置で誰かが魔術を執り行ってたってことだよ。
Is that what the shipping containers
これを
were?
辿っていけば
Where you had the fight?
その場所をつかむ手がかりになるかもしれない。
ボス、あの川の水にそんなものが混じっていると最初から気づいていたのか。
まさか。でもせっかく町のど真ん中に流水がある土地なんだ。まずは水から調べるのが当然だろう。
Well, they're all turning red though.
ライダー、こことここの間に何かあったか。排水溝とか用水路の注ぎ口とか。
Okay, so it's flowing in
ひときわ
and
バカ
going
でかい
down
のが
river.
一つあったが。
それだ。そいつを遡っていった先に多分キャスターの工房がある。
ボス、もしかして貴様、とんでもなく優秀な魔術師なんじゃないのか。
こんなのは優秀な魔術師の手段じゃない。
Okay, so that place where they have all the children chained up.
お前、僕をバカにしてるだろ。
何を言うか。下策をもって上首尾に至ったなら上策から始めるよりも数段勝る偉業ではないか。世もサーバントとして鼻が高い。よーし、居所さえつかめればこっちのもんだ。なあ坊主、早速殴り込むとするか。
待てこら、敵はキャスターだってな。
分かっておる。
分かってない。
Please let Ryder get into a
元陣
fight.
地防衛に
It's
お
all
い
I've
て
been waiting
最強
for.
のアドバンテージを誇ってるんだぞ。そこへいきなり攻め込むバカがいるかよ。
あのな、戦いにおいて陣というのは刻一刻と位置を変えていくもんだ。位置を掴んだ敵は速やかに叩かねば、取り逃がした後で後悔しても遅いのだ。
お前、なんでまた今日はやる気なんだ。
当然よ。我がマスターがようやっと功績らしい成果を見せたのだ。
That he's
な
proud.
らば世もまた敵の手球を持ち帰って報いるのがサーバントとしての心意気というものだ。まあ、そうしょっぱなから諦めてかかるでない。とりあえずぶち当たるだけ当たってみようではないか。
Please happen this
案外
episode.
なんとかなるかもしれんぞ。
I don't want to wait another month.
たりではないか。ああ、なんとかなったであろう。
I do also love he's riding a chariot through the sewers.
貯水槽か何かか、ここ。
坊主、これは見ないでおいた方がいいと思うぞ。
何言ってんだよ。キャスタ
All
ー
the
がいない
dead
なら
kids.
せめて居場所の手がかりぐらい探し出さなきゃ始まらないだろ。
そりゃそうかもしれんが、やめとけ。ボス、こいつは貴様の手に余る。
うるさい。
Tortured bodies strapped to the pillars. Have to be if they're splattered on you. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Huh? やめとけと言ったであろうが。
うるさい。ちくしょう、バカにしやがって。ちくしょう。
意地の張りどころが違うわ、バカ者。いいんだよ、それで。こんなもの見せられて眉一つ動かさぬ奴がいたら世がぶん殴っておるわ。
何がぶん殴るだよ、バカ。お前だって今全然平気な顔して突っ立ってるじゃないか。
This is why they're such a great combo. These two are the best combo in the whole fucking show.
なんせ世のマスターが殺されかかってるんだからな。
アサシン。
What the fuck was Assassin doing here?
だってアサシンは死んだはずじゃ。
驚いている場合じゃないぞ、ボズ。
I thought this was gonna be the caster's master.
どうして？
どうしてもへったくれもこの際関係なかろうて、一つ確かに言えることは、こいつらが死んだと思っていた連中は残らず。
Well, it's like 100 of them, wasn't there? I had a number written down before, I forgot.
逃げたのか？
油断するでない。二人死んでもまだなお二人。この調子じゃ一体何人のアサシンが出てくるやら。
Exactly. My boy's a thinker.
ここは奴ら好みの環境だ。さっさと退散するに限る。
ここはこのまま放っておくのか？
調べりゃ何かわかるかもしれんが、諦めろ。とりあえずぶち壊せるだけは壊していくさ。それはそれでキャスターの足を引っ張る戦果にはなる。
Funeral pyre for the dead.
こうして根城をぶっ潰されれば、キャスターは逃げも隠れもできる。
This is going to be the thing that makes him take this all seriously. He was afraid before, but now he sees what the other guys are fucking doing.
そう遠い話じゃないさ。
わかったからやめろそれ。
引き上げるぞ、ボス。
そう気にするな、キレイ。確かに未だライダーの切り札がつかめていない段階でアサシンの存在が知られてしまったのは痛いが、この度の一件でライダーのマスターが三流の魔術師であることがはっきりした。なればこそ
He's one of the highest rated mages in the Grail War now.
はい。確かに策も大事だが、常に余裕を持って優が垂れ、戦いにも品格が求められるのだ。
だがあそこまで退屈な男とは思わないんだ。
ライダーの切り札をつかむ好機は必ずや訪れる。
It's good to know they're
アサシン
aiming
には
after
細
my
心の
boy,
注意
though.
を払ってライダーの監視を続けさせよ。
了解しました。我が師よ。
The countdown continues. Man, I tell you, the moment I saw the outside of the building, I remember that was where Ryder was. I got all excited. I'm like, oh, good, finally. So I think 2 episodes back, I was telling Griff, oh man, I'm hoping we're getting a Ryder combat scene finally. Because I don't know, it just feels like he's the one we get the least amount of. And obviously, he's the one I'm most hyped for. I had myself drawn as him. I'm not gonna say badly. I'm just gonna say I feel like I look like a fat version of Ryder when I see it every time I look at myself. But I do appreciate my artist is constantly throwing my neck scar in on all of my characters. If you didn't notice before, pay close attention to any neck you see. My characters always have it. It's my defining characteristic now. A long time ago, I used to have a goatee. If you go back into the history of the channel, that was my defining characteristic. I identified by my goatee. Now it's the neck scars. Anyway, my point was, I was excited to see Ryder, and then we saw that he might be going out to fight Caster, and it's like, fuck Caster. I'd be glad to see my guy kill Caster first off. But man, did that go south. That went south so fast.
魔力を一度に注入しすぎたんだ。
私にだって手伝えることはきっとあるわ。
まさか冬木に言ったなんて。
これがマトウの魔術だよ。
今から俺らパーティー始めるとこなんだよね。
こんなんじゃ何にもできない。
Raiden's adventure. Oh, right. The Magus Killer's kid. Cute, adorable kid. I can't wait to see more of her, but at the same time, terrified that she might get in danger. Only a little bit. I don't want to see anything bad happen to her, but I think someone in the comments has already made it pretty clear she's like the main character of the next season or something like that. So, that tiny little spoiler, if she's ever going to be threatened in this show, I know nothing bad's going to happen to her, but she is that special kind of adorable kind of character that makes you not want her outlook on the world to be changed as well, right? Like, there's a difference between your favorite little girl character getting hurt, which is like, fuck that guy, I want to see him killed and everything he knows burned. And there's a difference between that and having her turn into a cold cynic, like myself, because that's fundamentally changed her for the worse, or will change them for the worse. You don't want to see the happy kid turn into the sad kid, I guess is the easiest way to put that. I don't want to see the Rin who spends time playing in the snow with her dad turn into the Rin of we fundamentally have to change the world because the world is a nasty place and people have to know what it's like. You know, I don't want her to have her childhood taken away and seriousness put back in its place. Which I guess loops us right back around to the sudden drop in the excitement that I had for Ryder getting rid of Caster. I am disappointed that that the assassins were there. I don't remember that being a setup thing. Like, oh, we have to track down Ryder so we can find out what his big bad move is. I think me and Griff talked about it maybe second or third episode when we were going over the cards for each of the summons. But oh yeah, and the cards had like little blurred out areas where like their big ultra move thing was. So we know that they all have them. But I don't remember anyone talking about them before other than say Gilgamesh. Because Gilgamesh like pulled his out to fight a bunch of people who claim to be kings. Because he's like, I am the king of kings. So that's the only time I remember being brought up, and we didn't know what the assassins were up to other than keeping eyes on a bunch of people, because we saw that in the church when the guy who's running the Grail War was talking to Kirite, or Kirai, rather. So yeah, just disappointed that they showed up there. I guess it's good to know what they're up to, but I wanted to fight with Caster. And obviously seeing all those dead kids down there would have been great motivation, because obviously Ryder was pumped up after that to take vengeance on whoever did it. So, wish Caster had been there. And obviously, this did seem to take place time after that fight was happening, but I guess in the uncertain nature of anime time frames, it's entirely possible we went back in time to see him the day before, then find out where Caster was, go there, catch us already off at the mansion fighting. Possible, I guess. Again, I don't have anybody to riff off here, so I'm riffing to you, the audience. Um, Otherwise, yeah, I do. I like my boy. Sorry, I've forgotten his name off the top of my head. I can look it up in a minute when I bring the board back up, just to remember people's names. Ryder's Master doing the breakdown of, hey, test all the water up along the way here, and I guess I kind of figure he must have done that for a reason. Like, he must have thought somebody must have been there. Otherwise, why would you check every part of the river for magic particles? It's funny that magic particles turn the water blood red. That's gotta be an indicator or something. Otherwise, I guess, like I said, the first part of the episode to me was just the linking of beliefs between Lancer and Saber. I was gonna try to remember his real name again, but I'm never gonna be able to do that. I do have it literally written down in my notepad what their real names are. I have, I can just bring that up right now. This was a note thing that I had written in episode 1, at the end of episode 1 or 2 rather, that I had specifically just given Griff so that we had a quick reference in our collective chat for when we were watching Fate. What did I write down here? There are 7 classes of servant: archer, assassin, berserker, caster, lancer, rider, and saber. The Holy Grail is held obviously meant Holy Grail War, is held every 60 years. The 3 main families are Eisburn, Tosaka, and Macaris. Kirite Kotamine, Master Assassin, who then also has the Summon Assassin, who is Hassan of 100 Faces. Waver Velvet, a student at Clock Tower, upstart magician, who has Ryder, Iskander, Alexander. Kiria Mateo, being eaten by worms, sacrificed a lot to save someone in service of the Matau family, has Berserker, aka Lancelot. Tokiomi Toshaka, head of the Toshaka family, servant as archer, Gilgamesh. Hiritsugi Emiya, mercenary and magus killer, married to Irisbel von Eisburn, servant as Saber, King Arthur. And Kenneth Archibald L. Meloi, mage teacher at university, servant lancer, Darimad Oi Davhain. Sorry, Irish names, never gonna get it right, just like Japanese names, really. Those are the notes that I sent to Griffin a long time ago, still sitting at the bottom of my notepad where I keep down, or will be keeping down my notes now, and the comments and reminders. Was gonna do recaps, but I think we're done with recaps. We're done with written recaps because that's something me and Griff would go back and forth on. And I feel like just saying what you remember is probably better. That way the audience doesn't expect you to know everything that obviously the written synopsis of the episode did. So yeah, I think that's the end of my rambling thoughts pre-note taking section. We're just gonna go ahead and roll on to the notes. So catch you after the notes. Alright, we're on the other side of the note-taking part, and first thing I want to do is I'll bring up the board here, because that was something I was also doing while taking the notes. Obviously, I talked about this before, but I've, connected the red line to these two because they were in that fight last episode, and it's obviously something that I missed. Obviously, these three are getting along amazingly, and I feel like they're worthy of a green line, even if these two are just mind-controlled people who aren't even going to remember this come whenever. Obviously, we've also got the assassin gang. I don't know the names of all of them. I only had these two before. Now going after Ryder, so that's an obvious red line. See, I know I added something else here. Oh, I also, little red line here for Lancer. I know they've got this agreement that they're not going to go after each other outright until Castor has been dealt with. I mean, obviously they're being forced to fight sometimes. He's no longer going to be forced by Archibald here because he's no longer the master. And it doesn't seem like Sola down here is going to force him. I mean, it seems like she's going to be super flexible if I'm reading the statement right. I think there was. Oh, yeah, obviously that's the other one that she's now the master. I'm still also including the green line here between Archibald and Lancer because Lancer is doing the honorable thing, or the loyal thing rather, and still considering them to be their master, even though this one holds the crest. Because we know, anyway, what's going on there. So yeah, that is the board. Moving on to the actual notes. Not as many as you would have thought, but starting it off. Sorry, I don't know how to say his name. Daramud? So I don't know why I wrote his name down when I knew I wasn't going to be able to say it. Daramud seems to live in regret of his past life, or at least the loss of his love, Grain. At least that is the way the opening of the episode read to me. The fact that Kenneth was the one who saw it as a dream has me questioning that, though. It could be a matter of forewarning of what was happening being pushed into Kenneth's mind, I assume by Lancer. But then again, that would also assume that Lancer was thinking it himself, which would imply the first part of my statement already. Something about betrayal by those close to him, aka his wife. It's not exactly the same, but does resemble how Grain's death, after her death, he was betrayed by her brother or father, whoever that guy was. Sorry, when I say somebody close to him, I'm talking about Kenneth and his wife. I didn't mean that Lancer was betrayed by his wife. Obviously, Grain died to something, and her father or brother, whichever that turns out to be, blamed Lancer for it and went after him, which seemed like a betrayal because we have that whole scene of them looking to be very close friends. So obviously, this is the thing that got between them. I have to believe that Sola is being affected by Lancer's power, which seems to imply that it's incidental or accidental and not something Lancer himself is doing on purpose. I would have thought that back at the hotel before the three of them had a more established relationship, but post this episode, it seems clear that Lancer isn't about that or pursuing it. It's either that or he's playing a super long game by telling Sola, no, no, I don't want this, and making Sola push for it. I don't know. That's an afterthought I just had now. I don't think that's what's happening, though. Real theme this episode of masters who ignore their summon's wishes in order to pursue what they believe to be important. Kiritsugu going against saving people in favor of the war. Sola going against loyalty in favor of love. Only Waver going against that grain to follow Ryder's words in the end. That just follows the trend of Ryder making Waver a better person as time goes on. Again, I'm really going to miss the fact that this was the only show that Griffin and I both agreed on a pairing of characters that work together. Typically, I pick a villain, he picks the good guy, we fight at some point. I was wrong when I mentioned Rin. For some reason, I got her confused with Ilyasvale, which I do feel more protective about. Rin is the former sister of that girl that got adopted by the Batau family and was tortured by worms to make her magic strong or something. The sister of the girl that Kyria saved, if you remember first episode, it was an hour-long one. So I take back almost everything I said. I have no idea what she might be up to. I feel like it's been since episode 1 since we last saw her. I still appreciate that Waver, who is brainwashing people to be his parents, and so clearly lacks any clear parental figures, has Ryder inspiring him in past episodes and declaring himself proud of him in an almost fatherly manner. It even brings a blush to Waver's face, showing it's something he so clearly desires despite not expressing it. To his end, Ryder even tries to shield Waver from the things he believes Waver can't handle, implying that the things he forces Waver into before were things he thought he could handle. So, come with me to the battlefield where we'll see wonders. That's fine. I think you can handle that. You're a strong boy. Do not look at this thing before you. This is not for your eyes. That sort of thing. My last comment here for today. Maybe something of a meta comment here, but it's funny how seeing other people react to stuff can affect our own reactions to them. When Castor and Ryu were messing with those kids, we looked past it to talk about other matters. We expressed how sick they were, and even how poorly the authorities were doing in letting so many kids be taken without being found. It wasn't until Ryder's concern for Waver showed up that Waver's own reaction of sadness and disgust hit me, bringing the situation home and really making me feel sadness and loss for what was going on, what we saw. Of course, it could also be the fact that Griffin handled all emotional situations with laughing. It was his coping mechanism. Not going to fault him for it. It's just, if you're watching something, whatever you're feeling is going to be affected by a voice laughing in your ear. Hearing someone laugh during an emotional scene can mess with your judgment of what's going on. Is my end all on that. If you ever thought I was being weird, but you watched Griffin laughing, if you thought I was being weird in an emotional situation that was happening, and Griffin was laughing, and then I go on to say something weird, maybe put that into that slice of judgment you're going to give me back. However, if you hear me say something weird in these solo reactions, fair enough. Hit me with it, because obviously that was just me. Unless I'm dealing with something else, in which case, in my rambling part before we react to the episode, I will let you know what exactly is happening with me. Otherwise, that has been today's, or rather this month's, episode of Fate. Once again, thank you, SeptiQ. This is an amazing show, and I fully understand why people enjoy it. I can't wait to watch the next episode. Thankfully now, though, I'm keeping notes, more personal notes, and I think I'll be able to remember more clearly. And this time I've updated the board, so there's not going to be a mistake next time. Anyway, I thank you all once again for joining me. I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, Episode 9, Fate Zero, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?